going on, guys? It's Angler FG here, about to head out to a local marsh where I'm from, throw some artificials for speckled trout. Now the weather's been warm and the bite's been slow, but we're going to get out there and see if we can make it happen.
Absolutely beautiful morning. I'm afraid it's gonna be a bit warm later, but for right now it is perfectly calm. The tide and current isn't that bad. Absolutely beautiful. I hit this point up real quick. And we're on. I think that's a pretty decent trout, or a little red. Let's go ahead and get him on the boat. Yeah, it's a small keeper. And here in Georgia, we keep a little bit smaller. That guy was pulling hard though. Throw in reverse and get out of the spot. So there you go, guys. Nice little speckled trout, maybe 13, 14 inches. Croaking male. See you later, buddy. Have a good morning. All right, just to show you guys what I was using here. It's got a popping cork. I'm using a long leader this morning. It's a pretty high tide. We're running about 10 feet right here. And just a little voodoo shrimp, white with a chartreuse tail, which is one of my absolute favorite colors. We're just giving a little pop rest. There we go, we got one on, boys. It's either coming at me or not that big, and it's not that big. Another little speck. You got my line wrapped around my rod tip, which I'm not the biggest fan of. You see right there, a little 12 incher. Something got his tail there. Swallowed that gulp. We're gonna let this guy go. You know, pretty decent little trout bite, but I'd like to catch something with some size on it, man. All right, thanks for playing. That's like I was telling you earlier, it's just a VMC swim bait hook. It's an 1/8 ounce 3/0 hook. That's really like them for rigging gulp. This guy got, right before I hooked him, my line tip wrapped a little bit, which made me scared I was gonna fray my line reeling him in, but luckily he wasn't that big. Might have had some trouble. We're gonna circle back around here, give that another little go here. See what's happening. Must have thrown that bait into that fish's mouth. He was just immediately on it. Got about 2 more casts. These fish have been spread out. You know, my instinct at a different time of the year would be when once I caught a fish like that to kind of beat the area up. But here recently, it's just onesie twosies, not a lot of size on them. A lot of the big spawning fish are out by the jetties and stuff. Looks like that trout might have been a lone ranger. We'll give the cork one throw. We'll call it quits for this spot. Oh. So right here, just got a voodoo shrimp, a little bit of procure in his belly, about a 3-foot leader, and a wind knot. Jeez Louise. It's been a wind knot kind of morning. Really like to get into a better trout. There we go. Well, he's fighting harder, but I don't know. It's hard to tell if he's bigger or not. Sometimes these boys are just feisty. And he was cut out of the same mold. Hey, thanks, bud. I don't know what, somebody gave these trout some amphetamines or something this morning. These guys are crazy. See you later, bud. See if we can pull another one out. See where his boys are. I'd like to find his mama. Old 24, 25 inch mama trout. Something tells me she's out spawning in saltier water. Not worried about eating a little shrimp back in this marsh. Really, there's not a lot of strategy to what I'm doing here. If you're new to saltwater fishing, or you're new to kayak fishing, or even really from a boat. Now, I am by no means the world's best fisherman, but all I'm really doing is holding to these points, these grass lines. Here in my neck of the woods in southeast Georgia, the trout bite tends to be pretty good on the higher end of the tides. We have massive 6-foot tidal shifts, and on those higher ends of the tides, when the water's slower and it's up in the grass, I've had a lot of luck finding a really good trout bite on grass lines. But you know, it's not a consistent spot bite. It really is a cover a lot of ground, you know, working with search bait type techniques like the pop and cork. I've had some luck with paddle tails. I'm gonna be honest, I mostly use shrimp imitations. I'll occasionally use paddle tails. Now, people do good on all kinds of tides. It is by no means the only technique here is to do those higher ends, but I tend to catch a lot of my trout on the higher tides, and I tend to catch a lot of my redfish and flounder on the lower tides. We're gonna put that up and go ahead and paddle ourselves over to another spot. Load it up for some little bit of Procure for the next time we cast it out, and that's Procure Menhaden. I don't know if it matters. They got stuff that's branded inshore saltwater. I got some of the mullet, but you know, I'd imagine any natural fish smell is gonna work great when it comes to the Procure. All right, here at another spot. About to throw out, see what happens. Oh, there we go. It doesn't feel like he's a big one, but that's, you know, the story of today. And a little speckled trout. A little nicer than the other ones. Still. Oh my God. He was hungry. He was hungry. I have to get the pliers out. He absolutely choked that thing. Oh, mere. All right, See right there, beautiful speckled trout, you know, little 12. He's 13 or 14. We're not keeping fish today though, so I'm not even gonna bother measuring them. See you later, bud. See if we can pull us another one. Ooh, that was a better fish, but he's off. That was a better fish. Oh my gosh, look at this, guys. Right there, freaking broke me off. That is unfortunate. I can tell, I tell you what, I've caught quite a few 20-inch plus trout in my day, and that hit was almost certainly a 20+ inch trout, which is easy for me to say right now because we'll never get to see him unless we somehow by a miracle catch a trout with a voodoo shrimp hanging out his mouth. I'm gonna maneuver over here and get a better angle than we had before. And we're on. Woo! I don't think it's a better fish than we've been getting, but it's a fish. Let's surf them on in here. Oh, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better trout. All right. Come in here, open our bail. That is a decent fish right there. See old speckler boy. Yeah, maybe a good 15, 16 inches. We finally got a legal Florida fish. Well, let's say goodbye. Absolutely beautiful. See you later, bud.
All right, guys. Well, you know, that was a slow day. We worked, covered a lot of ground, covered about 5 miles today, you know, for really just a couple small fish, but it was absolutely beautiful out there, and I can't wait to see you guys back on the water.